Okay, I've been wanting to do this story for a couple days. Here we go. 14-year-old girl killed by LAPD. 14-year-old girl killed by LAPD while shooting at a suspect. And also what I heard on the side note, this girl was in the dressing room trying on an outfit when a cop just opened fire and started shooting, and it fatally shot, and the girl almost died almost instantaneously. Let's get to it.
We have a story coming out of Los Angeles where you had a 14-year-old who was killed by a stray police bullet. She's 14, and she was shopping for a dress. Now, wow. I want you to look at her picture here. This young lady, if you can go ahead and put the picture up on the screen, she was at North Hollywood Burlington store when they had fired on her. The fitting room she was in, her name is Valentina Orellana Peralta. She was killed by an officer's bullet that passed through the wall of a dressing room where she was found dying in her mother's arms.
Unbelievable.
The young teen, she was at the store shopping for a dress for a quinceañera, a huge celebration for her and her culture. And the thing is that we have to ask ourselves, did this stray bullet just show up out of nowhere, or is it the fact that we have issues with LAPD maybe using weapons in places that are highly trafficked by innocent citizens like this child here?
Yeah, it's not the fact that LAPD. There's other police jurisdiction out there. I mean, you hear it all the time from New York, Chicago, LA, and others. Like Florida and others, and even like Texas. You hear it like that, where cops are just quick to to start shooting on sight. They don't ask questions. They could just search for the suspect. They didn't start, and the cops just open fire. And that's the problem we have as well, ladies and gentlemen. We have a problem with people turn a blind eye, and we have the statistic as well too, where cops just start shooting and innocent bystanders get shot and ultimately die from a stray bullet, or cops are just quick to judgment to start open fire.
So let's talk about what is out there. In terms of NBC News, we have this understanding that police say it's unclear if the suspect, who was also killed by police, was armed with a gun, because basically the police were in the store to pursue the suspect. One hasn't been found in terms of a gun. And Los Angeles police said that they received a radio call about an assault with a deadly weapon shortly before noon at the store, which is located at the intersection of Laurel Canyon and Victory Boulevards. Now, when police arrived at the scene, they encountered a suspect who was in the process of assaulting a victim. That's what LAPD Captain Stacy Spell said. That's when police opened fire on that suspect in that store, who was subsequently taken into custody. The LA Fire Department later pronounced the suspect dead at the scene, and the authorities said that they found a metal cable next to the suspect whom police officers were confronting, but that no gun was recovered. So we essentially get this claim from police saying that there was an assault with a deadly weapon going on during the holiday season in an extremely busy shopping center there in North Hollywood, and the police show up. There's no gun recovered in sight, but they decide to open fire. And we also want to talk a little bit about the background.
And this is a problem I have as well as too, ladies and gentlemen. Like you get cops. It's like when they hear the word like a suspect is armed, dangerous, or has a gun, they're going to be quick to draw their gun, their weapons out. But they don't know the whole story yet. Here's a question I wonder: why couldn't they get a SWAT team out there? Why couldn't they get a K9? K9s are good for sniffing out suspect. They decided to say, oh, the suspect has a gun, he's armed, dangerous. So they start reaching out, opening, like I said, case in point, innocent bystanders get hurt, ultimately die. And here's the case point.
Right now, based on what law enforcement is saying is going on, because this shooting happened during what police are calling a rise in shoplifting. And so what we do know is that robbery, burglary, and theft are down in law.
And that's the thing that, cops willing to shoot somebody over, something like a misdemeanor, like, a shoplifting, something like that. Maybe someone's going to try to get a little 5-figure discount like that. Remember a couple weeks ago, I covered that wheelchair suspect. They thought, because he's armed. He had a knife, and he tried to steal something of I think it was a load, I don't know. But yeah, they didn't shoot him once. They emptied their guns and shot him, and he died almost instantly 9 times. This is how quick the cops are willing to go to open fire.
Los Angeles compared to 2019, but according to the latest crime data from the police department, And in recent weeks, police have indicated that those types of crimes are rising, pointing to incidents involving smash and grab shoplifters who descended on high-end shopping districts at the height of the holiday shopping season. But, even claiming that this is a very violent and dangerous season and that there's a crime wave, the fact is that the critics at, of LAPD say that that's not necessarily true. And so what we have is the fact that these smash and grab incidents, while alarming, have been happening for at least the better part of a decade. They argue the incidents have yet to create anything approaching a spike on a graph and are being used to scare residents, lobby for officer raises, and
kind of like a scare tactic as well.
We're not saying crime doesn't exist. That's what was said by Richie Serendenko, an organizer with the People's City Council, a coalition of social and climate justice organizations. We're just saying the cops' own stats don't match their narrative. And they definitely don't seem to. And as a result, we are seeing police running up into very, very public situations. And we have a loss of life here by a 14-year-old. David, what are your thoughts?
Well, Adrian, I have a lot of questions that clearly the police, at least, are not answering. And that is when they put out a statement that says, okay, well, the suspect was engaged in an assault against somebody, and that's why police opened fire. Well, what kind of assault? Did he have a knife to the neck of the person that he was assaulting? Was he strangling them? Was that person almost dead? Or was it just like a fist fight? Because it matters. Because what they've done now, they've decided, no, it was a life or death situation. So the police opened fire. And yes, they killed the suspect, but they also kill an innocent girl because a bullet goes through the wall. I mean, to me, the fact that the police would only say that it was an assault in progress suggests this was a terrible, terrible, reprehensible action by the police. That this idea that you shoot first and ask questions later can cause the loss of innocent life, as we saw in this case. And I mean, you tell me. To me, it seems like there's a negligence case, a huge negligence case against the police that's waiting to be filed in this by the 14-year-old's family.
Absolutely.
I can smell a big-time lawsuit that the LAPD is going to be.
This is a highly trafficked store. I know this store in North Hollywood. The fact is that there were a lot of civilians around, unarmed, and just like you said, David, this thought that this gentleman was armed, but was it with a deadly weapon, or maybe was it with a coat hanger? Like the thought that
was it a knife? Maybe it was a screwdriver? Maybe a crowbar?
This store that is populated with people, including children, during the holiday season. You can't tell me that's reasonable. And that will be the standard. Go ahead, David.
And to me, that, not only is it, I think it's absolutely right in terms of that, the standard is as it is, and the police failed to meet the standard, their obligations. But to me, this also gets to this whole idea that there's something about police culture, this idea of having to use brute force. They are trained to overwhelmingly use force, lethal force, without much thinking about it. And to me, that's where all these problems come, that if the police had just thought, okay, let's think for a second. We're in a highly trafficked store. There's a lot of people around here. Yeah. There are a lot of innocent people. Is this person really in a life or death struggle with whoever he or she is?
And like assaulting? I said, why couldn't they just get a canine?
If they were trained in either de-escalation or tactics about how to stop somebody without using lethal force, was there opportunity to use a stun gun or something else? And to me, without even trying those steps, it just seems reprehensible.
Yeah, and the fact that you're seeing officers use lethal force to protect property. What, you're going to protect a pair of discount shoes at Burlington Coat Factory? Get out of here. Exactly. That's not even legit or reasonable in any way.
Here's the thing as well, too. I mean, you got cops want to kill somebody over a $50 jacket or a $25 fucking shirt. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, it's crazy like that. I mean, you got cops who want to slam you to the guard if you evade a $2.50 bus fare. Yeah, it happens, ladies and gentlemen. Around here, I mean, the cops will tell you, they'll push you out of the bus, they'll throw you down the floor, and they'll fucking shoot you. Or a $2.50 fare if you but try, man.
What kind of society are we that we think that someone should take a bullet for taking some shoes?
Yeah,
I don't
try to get a free ride on a bus
in any way.
It's not
that, there's an increase in a wave of shoplifting when the numbers actually don't support that at all, as opposed to they're being manipulated and used to justify acts like this that are reckless, in addition to getting more funding for police departments. We really have to think about what we're doing as a society. And one good thing that is coming out of this, even though justice has not been done, is the fact that there's a GoFundMe. And if we want to put that up now, there's a $24,000 just about has been reached for the family of the victim, that little girl, Valentina
Orella. Peralta.
who lost her life. She was shot and she was killed, whether intentional or not. It was reckless, and she lost her life in that Burlington Coat Factory. So if you would like to donate, please feel free to give. I can't imagine what her family is going through in this holiday season, knowing that they lost their
That
child.
cop needs to be charged. I'm
Shopping for her
sorry.
quinceanera dress
And
that she
I'll
will
tell you
not
what the
wear.
charge
She
should
will
be
not make
as
it to
soon
her
as it's done.
15th birthday because the LAPD decided to go gangbusters in a heavily
Yeah.
trafficked department store in North.
I mean, it's crazy. Innocent by a civilian, a young child, lose her life. That cop that shot her, I mean, yeah, he should be charged with reckless endangerment with a firearm and manslaughter. Maybe upgraded to murder too, but definitely at least manslaughter. Took a life of an innocent 14-year-old girl. Because you got cops out there wanting to go ape shit because they think they're badass Billy Bob with fucking guns and badges and blue line thugs out there. This is why we say bear back to blue. Not a fucking case of happy fuck the cops day. With that said, I'm out here. My job. Peace out.